Hi there, my name's Ali. Right after high school, I started working for my dad's cafe. It was evident from the first day of my parents' divorce that I would have had a better time if I stayed with my mom. Unfortunately, her new boyfriend was not a fan of kids. But guess what? Things were about to get even worse. On my first day at the cafe, I saw my nemesis, Simone. She and I have had a grudge on each other from the moment she threw a handful of sand at me at the playpen during recess when we were in kindergarten. But what are you doing here?
Oh, I see you've met Simone.
Met her? She cheated to get valedictorian! Ha! I didn't cheat. I won with creative means. You mean you dated Principal Higgins' undateable son so he'd give you extra credit? You won by half a point! So calm down!
Enough! The takeaway here is that you lost to Simone. As such, she's the only other person who can go toe-to-toe with you in this company. And I need my best minds competing! You know what they say, a good leader hires the best employees.
That's what they say about people who only have money and no talent either. Dad did not take that comment lightly. He made me wash dishes for a week. It was clear from the start that Dad preferred Simone over me. He always complimented her work, and he gave her free passes whenever she was late. She even got to clock out early on holidays and weekends. But I put my head down and did the work. I put out recipes that the people loved, and all the regulars always asked for me to make their coffee. Because, and I quote,
"The girl barista always makes weird-tasting stuff."
One day, the regulars suddenly stopped coming. The cafe started failing because of a rival company that had hundreds of franchises throughout the country, and Dad got desperate. He drove me and Simone to work overtime every day until we could figure out how to get our customers back. But nothing worked. Every day we were losing more and more money, and Dad was going deeper into debt. It would have been the best time for me to split. But, I don't know. I must have felt some sort of sick loyalty just because we were biologically related. One day, I was walking across town, racking my head for ideas, until I stopped in front of a wall full of graffiti and old posters. I must have stared into nothing for an entire half hour until my eyes rested on an old meme. "Why not both?" it said, and a light bulb went off in my head. Why not both indeed? Our cafe was popular for one thing, banana bread, and the rival cafe was known for another, donuts. I worked late into the night. For an entire week, I did nothing but perfect the recipe and get just the right balance. I practiced pouring latte art and concocting the perfect drink pairing for my creation. And after a whole month of working non-stop, I finally presented it to my dad and my coworkers. I pulled the cloche off the plate and revealed it. Behold! The Bronut!
The what?
What is it? It's a banana bread donut. It's fluffy and moist like our banana bread, but with the deep fried goodness of a donut, covered in a rich glaze and sprinkled with roasted walnuts. I could see everyone's mouth start to water at the description alone. Go ahead, try it. The whole crew dove in as if they'd been starving for a month, and their eyes began to water.
This is so good, Ali! I can't believe how soft they are!
But that's not it. I put down the latte I made specifically to partner with the Bronut, and when they drank it after a bite of the pastry, all of them sat down in awe. The profit margin on the pastry alone is great, but not amazing. So I thought, we must launch this product with a drink, because drinks have the highest profit margins. And if you upsell the Choctella latte with every Bronut sale, we'll be out of this rut in no time. And look, I've come up with a mood board to give the place a new look. It's modern, it's minimalist, it's gonna make us pop off. But, of course, my dad had something negative to say, as always.
It's an okay idea.
Do you have a better idea, Dad? Or just any idea? I believed in my creation so much that I put my job on the line just to convince him. I told him if the new launch didn't work, he could fire me. And guess what? I proved him wrong. The first day alone, we sold out of both the Bronut and the Choctella Latte within an hour. And by the third day, we had a line going around the block. We couldn't keep up with the demand as our launch reached viral status. And we had a waiting list for box dozens that was 6 months long. Our cafe immediately overtook the rival cafe's popularity. And from being in debt, the place began raking in tons of money. Dad even got to buy himself a new Ferrari. But guess what he gave to me in return? He fired me. After I'd saved his coffee shop, he thanked me by throwing me out of the house and cutting me off. As soon as the rival cafe heard of this, they sent their hot HR manager to poach me. She took me out to dinner where she basically tried to charm me into working for her bosses. She was winking way too much. But I was done. I wanted no part in my dad's world anymore. Instead, I changed my path. I started night school to become an interior designer, and by day, I interned for a design firm in the city. I thought I'd escaped the bias against me when I changed careers, but it turned out that office was just the same, if not worse. There was an intern who came into the company on the same day I did. Her name was Marissa, but she was already earning twice as much as I was. You're probably thinking, Ali, you're just imagining it. But I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. Every morning when our boss comes by our side-by-side desks to bring us our work for the day, Marissa would get a stack of maybe 5 folders, and I would get 3 times that. Like, how am I earning half her salary and still doing more work than her? The company posts the staff's work that has been the most successful every month, and on our floor, half of the wall consisted of my designs. And yet, the moment any opportunity for promotion appears, Marissa gets it. She has like 1 thing on that wall. I tried to complain to HR, but they just brushed me off. Ali, are you actually complaining about a female being more successful than you in the workspace right now? I'm saying she's clearly being given unfair privileges. Son, you can't be against women being more successful than you. It's not a great look. Speaking of looks, do you think anyone would promote you when you're wearing old clothes and non-designer jackets? I didn't know we were on Project Runway. Now, let's talk about your fake nose. I think we've talked enough. Besides, it's a design company. Women simply have better taste. I guess it's true what they say. Girls stick together. The HR lady, my boss, Marissa, they were all in on it. They were determined to push me down. Thanks to the complaint I made, my pay got cut. Until one day when my performance review came up, and the board of directors saw that I was still earning minimum, and my boss was working me like a horse. I'm confused. Your designs are winning the hearts and wallets of our clients, and yet, you're still an intern? You'd have to ask my boss about that. Nevertheless, we have been paying attention to your work, and we have an outgoing CEO. That means we're looking for a replacement. Your boss suggested we look into Marissa, and she's insistent. But, looking at your work, I'm just surprised you're not running the whole place. So, we decided we're gonna hold a competition. You will be given a week to prepare. There's a space at the penthouse, and it's bare. You will both design its interior, and whoever wins the competition will take over as CEO. Even if I'm just, an intern? Son, I believe in running companies based on meritocracy. If you have the skills, you deserve to be up there. I worked day and night, sometimes falling asleep in front of my computer just redoing my designs 10, 20 times over, changing tiny details until it was all perfect. I invested all my money into it, buying custom decor and art pieces that would match my vision, testing my ideas in real life to see just how the sun would hit a particular corner on a specific time of day, hoping that this time, all my hard work would pay off. I exhausted all my resources that I forgot to pay my rent, and my landlord came knocking at my door.
Where's my money?
Sorry, man, well, can I get you next month? I might get a promotion, and I promise I'll pay you with interest.
No! No excuses! No rent! No apartment!
Dude, please, I've only been late a week. There's literally a girl downstairs who hasn't paid her rent in 6 months, and you're evicting me?
Well, you aren't a pretty girl, are you?
I could do nothing but sit on the floor and stare at the city in disbelief. I was so close. I was literally less than a day away from achieving my goals. And this happens.
Share this podcast to all social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and so on, and you'll be given a shout out. Also drop your social media username so that we can find you. Thanks for your support. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the link in this episode description. You should also please follow or subscribe to our other podcast, My Animated Story, by clicking on this episode description. And also, kindly please rate and review this podcast. Bye.